Welcome to the fabulous Fempreneurship podcast series for entrepreneurs with your host, Elaine Slatter. Each episode addresses topics to help you and your business grow and succeed. Join us as we interview a variety of global experts.
Hello, listeners to the fabulous Fempreneurship podcast. Today, our topic is entrepreneurs. Now is the time to take care of your health before it's too late. A great topic because entrepreneurs are notorious for not looking after their own health. They have long hours. They don't eat perhaps on a regular basis or exercise every day. And so they're not necessarily the healthiest people on the planet. Our guest today is Antonietta Botticelli, and she has quite a story to tell. So welcome to the show, Antonietta.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, Elaine. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to share my story with all of your fantastic viewers.
Yeah, so before we get started, could you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. So back in 2016, I was a full-blown diabetic. I could not tie my shoes, nor could I walk more than 20 minutes. And at that point in my life, I had about 20% chance of dying. So if you fast forward to June 2018, I managed to lose 141 pounds, which is basically a pregnant supermodel. I kicked diabetes to the curb. I became a certified group fitness instructor, created a fitness program called A Body, and reduced my chances of dying to less than 5%. A Body with Antonietta is basically a fun, low-impact group fitness experience, which incorporates everyday practical movements. I'm known to be the female version of Richard Simmons. So this program is basically created by my own health experience and how, what it took for me to lose the weight. And I'm a big promoter of you do you, a big promoter of no judgment and not being perfect and not comparing yourself. So that's what it's all about.
Yes, because we're all different shapes and sizes and different ages, and none of us are going to be model thin. That's not the goal, We just have to be healthy. Yeah. So, Antonietta, when and how did you take notice that your health was in jeopardy? Because that's pretty scary what you went through.
Yes. So my story about my health crisis is pretty... it's a pretty cool story to hear. So it happened back in June of 2014, and everything went downhill within a week. And what does that look like? That looked like I lost my eyesight. I lost my eyesight first. I started to see things blurry, and it got worse every day. Then my sides of my lips started bleeding. My tongue, at the back of my tongue started bleeding. I went to my optometrist and she told me I needed to get into a walking clinic right away and take blood work. It was insane. And that weekend before I was admitted to the hospital on Monday, I was not in a good state. I felt like I was addicted to drugs. I was like very shaky, I was thirsty all the time. All I kept tasting was blood in my mouth. I went to the optometrist. I went to an eye clinic to get me new prescription for my glasses on the Saturday. The Sunday I woke up and I couldn't see anything even after I paid $800 for the glasses. It's just that I completely lost my eyesight. I fell into a very dark, deep depression that weekend. And the way that I was able to get out of my bed was due to my dogs. My dogs saved my life. They would come to my room and whimper because they needed to get outside. And so I ended up in the hospital on Tuesday. My sugar level was really, really high. And typically, you need to be in the range between 4 and 7. And mine was at 33 when I walked into the hospital. My potassium level was so high that they needed to really drop that. The doctor was very surprised that I wasn't in a diabetic coma. My organs were slowly failing. And I was in the hospital for 2.5 days and finally got my numbers down low enough for them to release me. But that was a true scare. That's when I first started that I noticed that my health was in jeopardy.
Yeah. So when you got that health diagnosis, how did you handle that?
Yeah. So it's funny enough because, when you're put into that situation, I didn't know what to do. But what truly happened was one of my dear friends found out that I was diagnosed as a diabetic. And if you can think about this, as of June of 2014, for 4 years after that, this particular friend of mine would text me every morning to find out what my readings were. And she basically saved my life because she held me accountable. And the way that I handled my diagnosis was leaning on the community, leaning on my friends, and leaning on my family, because I just really didn't want to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were in such a denial, and it was such a scary time that, I just didn't want to take ownership that I was a diabetic, and, I had to do something about it. It was really, really hard for me at that time, but through the persistence of my friends keeping an eye on me and asking me how I'm doing and submitting my readings every day, gave me the jump start to slowly get there. So it was weird at the beginning, how I dealt with the health diagnosis. But I owe my friends my life. And that's how I started, is just with my friends helping me out.
Yeah. So eventually, I guess, you got over the denial that you had this diagnosis, and with your friends and family helping you, I guess you started to find strategies to get your health back on track. Is that how it worked?
Yes, exactly. So here is where the power of community is. And I'm just proud to say that I built a very infectious community just by my own health experience. And I'll explain to you what that means. It means that, a friend of mine in 2016, in March of 2016, she messages me and she says, "Hey, Antonietta, do you mind walking with me every morning at 6 o'clock for half an hour?" And I said, yes. And I said, okay, I'll walk with you in the morning. And at that point in my life, walking 20 minutes was very, very challenging. So that was the beginning of one of the strategies that helped me lead a healthier life. So then come in September of 2016, another friend of mine says, "Hey, Antonietta, would you mind joining a weight loss program with me? Because if you join, I get a free month and then you get a free month." And I said, sure. So they were just so kind to me, not telling me directly, like, "Listen, Antonietta, you need to walk because look at the condition that you're in." Or they didn't say to me, "Antonietta, you need to join a weight loss program because you need to lose weight." They actually came with the approach as of, "Do you mind helping me?" And, and that made me say yes. And the strategies were walking into a weight loss program, which was the darkest day of my life and the best day of my life, and starting to slowly walk every day. And I walked 5 days a week, 20 minutes a day, and that's all I did. And when I joined the weight loss program, it taught me healthy habits. And little by little, I saw improvements to my weight. And so I just self-motivated myself every week. And the strategies were hanging around like-minded people, learning healthy habits by the weight loss program I was on, and just simply walking 20 minutes a day. And that's basically what I did. And the rest is history. It's just crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge journey that you went on. So
Yes.
from what you've shared with us today, what is the one thing that keeps you motivated to stay on track with your health?
Yeah. So, a lot of people ask me every day, "How did you lose the 141 pounds?" And this is my secret. My secret is, which will answer your question, is that I gave myself weekly goals, really realistic ones, And what I mean by goals is, at the beginning of my journey, the scale ruled my life, because that was one of the tools that I needed to know that I was on the right track. And so what I did was I did weekly goals, and it self-motivated me to keep going. So, for example, if I needed to lose 1.5 pounds to reach my first 10 pounds, I would put Post-its everywhere. And then once I reached that goal, I just basically self-motivated myself. And the one thing that kept me going was my why. Why did I start? And funny enough, the reason why I started was because for 16 years, I didn't go swimming, because I was in a marriage that was very unhealthy, very abusive mentally and emotionally. And my ex-husband at the time, never failed to remind me that I shouldn't be in a bathing suit and that I should be embarrassed about myself. And and how could you gain so much weight? And I felt very uncomfortable eating dinner with him, because he was judged me all the time on what I ate. And so the reason why it kept me going was I remembered how great I felt swimming. And I remembered that I wanted to go swimming again. And that's what motivated to keep going, was why I started at the first place. And funny enough, it wasn't the diabetes, it was actually me going swimming. And that's what kept me motivated, why I started. And that helped me through a lot of dark times.
Well, that's unbelievable that your whole journey, how your friends were able to turn it around so that you were helping them.
Yeah.
And then how swimming, the joy of swimming was your motivation to keep going.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are not living a healthy lifestyle. So what are 4 tips that you would like to share with those that are thinking about, like after the holiday season, perhaps they should be considering a healthier lifestyle?
Yes, this is such a great question. I get asked this question all the time. And these are the 4 tips that I would share with all the entrepreneurs on here. I worked in a corporate, I worked in corporate for many years. And what that meant was I would be sitting down for 8 to 10 hours in front of my computer. And a lot of us, run into that problem, that we sit most of the day. And one of my tips is just to add activity into your life. Now, the word exercise, people get afraid of that. That's very a daunting word. A lot of people think that they need to join a gym and they need to join classes and do weights and do all these things that don't sound fun. Exercise to me is actually whatever the moving activity is. So if that means every hour you get out away from your desk and walk up and down the hallway, or walk to the furthest bathroom, or do 10 minutes if you're working at home, go up and down the stairs, or whatever that is, because if you walk for 5 minutes, you get about 250 steps on your Fitbit. So if you break that down, it's doable to reach 5,000 steps a day and then increase it to 10,000. Activity is one. Grab a partner and walk outside. You can put your favorite Christmas tunes on, or favorite music, and dance in your kitchen, your living room. My number 1 tip is to increase your activity. Number 2 is to increase your protein. Protein is huge. When you increase your protein, your cravings for sugar and carbs reduce. And that's what happened to me. Like, from my own experience, increasing protein actually gave me a jump start to my weight loss. Number 3 is increasing your water. So if you don't have any health conditions that won't allow you to drink a lot of water, increasing your water is the magic pill. Anywhere from 2 to 3 liters of water a day, is really, really healthy for you. I'm telling you, water is the magic pill. It clears out your toxins, your body, fills up your tummy. It's just remarkable what water does. The 4th tip that I would give anybody is making sure that you get a good night's sleep. A good night's sleep is really, really important, because if you don't get a good night's sleep, you make unhealthy choices the next day because you're agitated and you're not feeling well, and you're just, you didn't get enough rest. So you tend to not do any healthy habits. You know what I mean? Like you run and get a fast meal or go through a drive-through because you just don't have the energy to meal plan for that day. So those are my 4 tips that I would share with all the entrepreneurs on here.
Now, you're definitely well on your way to a healthier lifestyle than you were in 2014. So if you could, what advice would you give to your old self, the one that you were, the person you were in 2014?
Yes. What I would say to myself is, believe in yourself, Antonietta. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to myself doesn't mean that I'm allowed to, binge eat every other day. When I say be kind to yourself is that negative chatter that comes into your head. Another thing I would say is, surround yourself with great people that give you positivity and encourage you and support you, and get rid of the ones that are very negative and do automatically dim your light, and also to tell myself that I am worth it and that I am good enough and that I can do it. And that's what I would say to myself.
Yes. Now, if you were talking to yourself now, do you think you would have started earlier if you knew that? Like if you believed in yourself and you were kind to yourself and you felt that you were...
Yes, I think, yes. The reason why I gained 160 pounds, I gained 160 pounds within 10 years. And those 10 years that's when I was actually married. So I walked into a lion's den. I walked into something that was very unhealthy. Mm-hmm. And I was a very upbeat, full of confidence, very active, very social before, I got married. I dated him for such a long time, but then I don't know what happened. As soon as you say I do and you live with them, I don't know what happened there, but turned into a completely different person. And so I lost myself. I gained the weight. I was very not nice to myself mentally because I was told every day that I wasn't good enough. And I learned to believe that. So if I can rewind the tape a little bit, instead of saying, yes, I will get married, I should have said no. Should have said, no, thank you. And then moved on. But that's what I would have done.
I know, but going into the marriage, I'm sure you were shocked to find out afterwards that was the situation you were in. And sometimes, you don't really believe it. And, and the mental abuse continues, and you gradually lose your self-confidence, your self-worth, everything about your former self. And it takes a strong person to get out of that relationship and get themselves on a better journey than you were on.
And if I may, Elaine, I wanted to also share with, I lost 10 years of my life. I avoided taking pictures. I said no to every family wedding or get together, because gaining 160 pounds is if you haven't seen somebody in a long time, you're unrecognizable. So I lost 10 years of my life. I lost moments with my nieces and nephews. I didn't take pictures with them. I said no to a lot of things. I just stayed in my house, and that's it. And I'm very sad about that. But now I live my life to the fullest, and I say yes to everything, Elaine. I say yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a tremendous transformation in yourself as a person. And now you're paying it forward by helping other people live a healthier lifestyle. That's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
So it's great to have you on the show, Antonietta. Your story is remarkable. And I believe you have a special offer for our listeners today.
I do, yes. The offer is this. I would love for everyone to get a taste of the infectious community that I've built. I do online virtual classes. But a Body with Antonietta is more than a fitness class. It's a place where we all get together because we're basically on the same journey. We just want to be healthier, stronger, and happier. And the community that we've built is just infectious. And I just love every single person. So I would love if your listeners would email me and let me know that you heard me on this platform, and I would love to send you a complimentary link to my online class for you to get the experience of the workout on one, and then secondly, to be introduced to a community that is just simply fantastic.
Well, that would be a great start to the new year, because part of it is the community that you've built, taking a class with you and getting to know the other people in the class. I mean, that way the tribe helps each other, which is so important to keeping you on track.
Absolutely, it does. Yes, absolutely.
Just the same way as your friends helped you for so long to just get yourself onto that journey,
Yes.
I think it's totally amazing. Well, thank you, Antonietta, for being such a great guest and sharing your health journey. And I'm sure it's a great motivation to a lot of entrepreneurs to start the new year with a healthier lifestyle.
Yes, I would say yes. Say yes to a healthier lifestyle.
Yes, absolutely. And now when I finish this podcast, I'm going to run up and down my stairs a few times.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. That's so great.
Because the thing is, you're absolutely right. As an entrepreneur, especially during these times, we're sitting behind a computer screen for many hours of the day. And I love that first idea to just take a break every hour and do something like run up and down a couple of flights of stairs, go to the furthest room in the house and back a few times. And with winter here in Canada, we might have to do some of those indoor things to kickstart our healthy habits.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great, great day.
And you too.
To receive your free gift and connect directly with the podcast guest, visit our website at fabfempreneurship.com/entrepreneur mastermind podcasts and click on this episode. Here's to building your business growth, one step at a time. If you enjoyed this podcast, why not tune in to other episodes in this series at fabfempreneurship.com/entrepreneur mastermind podcasts.